Right, we're going to take the bull by the horns and we're going to join these two pieces together for our quilt as you go. No one else does quilt as you go like this. It's unusual, but the results are stunning, almost like you could, seamless. So just, I'm going to show you on a video how to do it, but just be brave and do what I'm doing. Right, here we go. Right, so we've cut the joining pieces right close to the edge. So there's a 1/4 inch seam allowed on that. And I've taken any tacking out along that edge, so we can actually just pull back just the top edge. So that's why we didn't want you to stitch 1 inch from the edge. Look, so we've got that seam. So you're going to put the right sides together. I haven't got much to match. You've got to match that seam, and you're just going to take the top layer only. You're going to take the top layer only and just match the two top pieces. So it's quite easy because there's only that little bit there to do. Now you could take this to the machine and sew that seam, but I think it's an easier seam, especially the first time you do it, to stitch it by hand. So if you are worried about your 1/4 inch seam allowance, because you've got to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you can put your tape on and you can stitch with your tape. So what we're doing, I'm just putting the right sides together of the top layer only. Don't worry about anything else yet, because you will see in a minute that it all comes good. So don't worry about other ways you've done it. This is my way, and it works really well. It almost seamless. So again, I'm just going to take out any tacking that I did along the edge. You don't want to pre-cut these. You only want to cut them when you're ready to do it, because you don't want the edges to be ruffled up at all. Just take the top layer and that layer, and you're going to stitch that by machine, but I am going to stitch it by hand. I prefer the fact that I can actually manipulate it. I'm going to pin it really well. Top layer only. Make sure the seams are joined beautifully. Pin. And you do that right across, right along. Then I'm going to sew that for you, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So now I've sewn a 1/4 inch seam, just the two top layers only. Everything else I've pinned back or held back. I use the 1/4 inch tape to keep my seam like this. I put it on. I just cut a piece off 10 inches and just use that as a guide if you need to have a guide. Huge apologies, this tape is a little bit sticky. We have written to our suppliers, but there's nothing they can do, and you need it now. So just go into the reel a bit and you'll get it less sticky. So you can take it off and you can reuse it. You'll need to reuse it later on. So once you've done that, you could do that by machine. It didn't take me 2 minutes to do it by hand, and it was very successful. So have a look at that. I've just sewn a 1/4 inch, just the two top layers, and I've got the wadding either side. Okay. Now, what you've got to do is cut off a 1/4 inch of the wadding on each side. If you're still unsure what your 1/4 inch looks like, you can just put the tape on and cut the tape off. But what you've got to do is just cut 1/4 inch on each side. So that we're going to lay them out, give them a bit of a press, and we're eventually going to butt them up together and over sew them together. But in the meantime, you've got to cut a 1/4 inch from each side. This wadding is quite forgiving. You can do it by eye if you, as long as you're not too generous. But we do need it to be accurate, 1/4 inch. going to do that on both sides. Make sure it's just the wadding. Be very cautious that you're not catching the underneath. And the thing is, it has to be 1/4 inch, otherwise, if it's too less than that, then you're going to have a bulky seam, and we don't want any bulky seams. So there you are. That's one side, and now I'll do the other side. Do you see that? 1/4 inch off. So what you're going to do now is you're going to, from the back, you're just going to butt the wadding up to each other. That's why you had to have 1/4 inch off each side. And you're just going to over sew these two pieces of wadding together. Once I've got cracking, you'll be able to see it. So we just want the wadding to touch each other. You want it under a bit of tension. We do not want the wadding overlapping. And you're just going to take a pinch from one side and a pinch from the other side. I'll do a bit and you can see. Hang on a second. Pinch from one side, pinch from the other side. And we want these butting up. So you vaguely need under some tension. So it's nice and flat. So it's as flat as it would be if it was an ordinary quilt. So you just take a pinch from one side and a pinch from the other. Pinch from one side. Pinch from another. Can you see that? It's just butting up to each other. Just give it a little bit of tension. Do you see that nicely? And what we're then going to do is obviously going to put that one down, tuck that one under by 1/4 inch, stitch it down. And there's no bulk there. Hardly any bulk, just one double seam. That's the only bit of bulk there, that extra seam there. And from the other side, it's going to look immaculate. So just do that, and I'll be with you in a minute. This is where the magic happens, look. So I have actually butted my 2 layers together of the wadding. That's why we had to cut 1/4 inch off each side. They butt up together. No one's going to see that stitch. It's all nice and flat. And I pressed it. You're going to press one in, and then this one here, you're just going to tuck under 1/4 inch, give it a press, and just stitch it down. Now, what sometimes happens when you take it onto your lap and you've pressed it under and you move it over. It can't go over more than 1/4 inch. It's just got to be the 1/4 inch. Everything's 1/4 inch. So just tuck it under. Never to be seen on the back, so we've got a nice busy back. And then hardly notice I've given the front a press. You cannot feel anything, just a dash you can feel. But how efficient is that? Looks gorgeous. And now what I'm going to do is just, it's still quite small, I'm just going to finish off any ends. Just finish off any ends that I need to do. Just don't think I need to do too many, and just quilt the last little bit like that. I might do a cross stitch in there, cross in there, not to be seen. I'll do it on the machine. But there you are. That is your quilt as you go Mandy's way. And how nice is that? Hardly seen, and no bulk whatsoever. Just a fraction, tiny fraction. You're never gonna see it. That will be 4 rows done, won't it? 3 rows done. So just another 1, 2 to go. Well done.